مستقبل رائع ان شاء الله.
كابتن، نلاحظ من المهرجانات والمباريات اللي قاعدة تصير صغيرة مو كلهم فريق واحد، مسوين ميكس بين كل نادي ولاعب.
صحيح
بالاضافه للاعب قديم مثلكم.
صحيح.
ايش رايك في هالحركه؟
لا هذه يعني هي محطات، عباره عن محطات، واللعيبه طبعا كلهم يدرون على هذه المحطات، يمرون كل المحطات. اعتقد المحطات يعني عباره عن طبعا تقسيمه، عباره عن يعني تمارين، عباره عن تكتيك، فاعتقد يمرون على هذه
يعني اكثر من نشاط في ملعب واحد.
اكيد، فهذه اعتقد يعني يستفيد منها الطفل.
مساء مباشرة على دبي الرياضية الرابعة. كأس ملك تايلاند بنسخته 44، أقوى المنتخبات الآسيوية تتنافس على اللقب. الإمارات العربية المتحدة، الأردن، سوريا وتايلاند. تنقل البطولة مباشرة من تايلاند. كأس ملك تايلاند لكرة القدم، المركز الثالث، الأحد 2 ظهرا مباشرة على دبي الرياضية الأولى والثالثة. ضمن مباريات الجولة 30 والختامية للدوري الإسباني لكرة اليد تتابعون جرانولرز مع برشلونة. جرانولرز مع برشلونة يتبع المباراة التتويج الرسمي لنادي برشلونة السبت 7:30 مساء مباشرة على دبي الرياضية الرابعة. كأس ملك تايلاند بنسخته 44، أقوى المنتخبات الآسيوية.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة، آت سيدنا محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة، وابعثه اللهم المقام المحمود الذي وعدته، إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
ضمن مباريات الجولة 30 والختامية للدوري الإسباني لكرة اليد تتابعون جرانولرز مع برشلونة. جرانولرز مع برشلونة يتبع المباراة التتويج الرسمي لنادي برشلونة السبت 7:30 مساء مباشرة على دبي الرياضية الرابعة.
Showdown we've been waiting for. Mercedes Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg are both fired up after a shocking first lap smash in Spain that ended both their races. They are now desperate to reassert their position at the top of the sport.
It's not yet proven he's faster than me.
Neither is prepared to give an inch. stage is set for one of Formula One's great battles. Is Mercedes still the benchmark in Monaco? You're watching The Inside Line. It's one of the most exclusive enclaves on the planet, a tiny principality for the rich and famous, home to the world's greatest motor race, Monaco. Largely unchanged in its layout since 1929, from the pit straight, the run up the hill from Saint-Devote, to the hairpin, and the famous tunnel. It's the classic Grand Prix event. One conquered by all the great champions. The maestro, Juan Manuel Fangio. Black Jack Brabham. Mr. Monaco himself, Graham Hill. And Michael Schumacher. And of course, the greatest of them all, Ayrton Senna, who won around the streets of Monte Carlo a record 6 times, 5 straight between 1989 and 1993, racing for McLaren. The historic British squad is the most successful on the Côte d'Azur, with 15 wins to Ferrari's 9, and celebrates a significant milestone in 2016, 50 years since its Grand Prix debut at Monaco, 1966. The podium may be out of reach this year, but McLaren CEO Ron Dennis is adamant the outfit's historic partnership with Honda will bear fruit.
In the end, the outcome, I hope and believe, will be inevitable, which is we will return to winning sooner rather than later.
87 years on from the inaugural event, Monte Carlo still commands respect, with drivers working up to the limit throughout the weekend. The barriers getting closer and closer with every lap. In 2016, it was all eyes on the fight at Mercedes.
We have a serious battle, and it's not over till it's over. And it's going to be hopefully a long period of time until it is over.
But the Bulls spied their chance to take on the might of Mercedes and go for the win at the most unforgiving circuit of them all.
I'd love to get back in the winners column. You know, if I could grab a victory this year, that would be definitely something that would make me happy.
Up next, we look at another protagonist in the 2016 World Championship. Ferrari, right here on the Inside Line. Continue at Ferrari as the Scuderia become increasingly desperate to close the gap to benchmark team Mercedes. 2016 was meant to be the Italian squad's season to consistently challenge at the front. With the SF16H featuring a short nose design, taller side pods, and tightly packaged rear end, thanks to a more compact gearbox design. Its 2 world champions, Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, it has one of the sport's strongest driver lineups. Ferrari was certain it had pulled out all the stops.
The entire project team on this car has given its absolute best to try to make sure that every possible way that we can put a competitive car on the ground for the first race, we have followed.
Even before the season started, expectations were high following rumors over the winter that the prancing horse had a rocket in the wings. championship challenger on the back of its 3 wins scored in Malaysia, Hungary and Singapore in 2015.
I think everybody is fired up and we want to win. So the target is clear, the expectation is there. But I think that's also where we want to be. So we'll see how close we are and how much there is to do during the season.
And there is much to do, with bad luck and reliability issues blighting the Prancing Horses' run so far. The opening round in Australia was meant to be all smiles and celebration. But things didn't go to plan in Melbourne, with Vettel's victory chance destroyed by the safety car. While teammate Kimi Raikkonen retired with a dramatic turbo failure. A new day dawned in Bahrain. But Vettel retired on the formation lap with power unit problems, while Raikkonen banked points in second. Shanghai brought a fresh new cosmopolitan vibe, but quickly became a damage limitation exercise after both Ferraris collided at the first corner. Daniil Kvyat's Red Bull forcing Vettel into his teammate. He recovered to second, with Raikkonen fifth. The fireworks continued in Russia after Vettel crashed out on lap 1, care of 2 hits from a kamikaze Kvyat. Raikkonen took third. Spain's Circuit de Catalunya was to be its redemption road, with both Mercedes out on the first lap. But Raikkonen could not break young gun Max Verstappen across their 32-lap battle on aging tyres. It's been a vicious cycle, one not made any easier with added pressure from Ferrari's ruthless CEO, Sergio Marchionne. The team knows the clock is on, and we need to start winning some races and bringing them home, he said in China. The team used the post-Spanish Grand Prix test to focus on its qualifying pace, to match Mercedes' ability to get the best from the tyres in low-grip situations. It's also continuing efforts on engine technologies, with secretive projects like the turbulent jet ignition system, pioneered by Mercedes, providing better fuel efficiency as well as a bigger bang. But time is running out, and while Marchionne has publicly backed team boss Maurizio Arrivabene, expect a shake-up if the team fails to deliver. There were perfect conditions in Monaco for Thursday's practice sessions, but luck was in short supply, with Williams' Felipe Massa hitting the barrier at Saint-Devote, while Jenson Button's McLaren hit a dislodged drain cover. As qualifying came into focus, the Mercedes were under threat for pole, with just 0.157 seconds separating the top 4 in final practice. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel on top by 18 one-thousandths of a second. Q1 was stopped almost as it began, when Sauber's Felipe Nasr suffered an engine failure at the entrance to Tabac. After the restart, Vettel showed his hand with a 1:14.610, which trumped Hamilton's best by 0.2, before another red flag. This one brought on by Red Bull Racing's Max Verstappen, who clattered the barrier at the exit of the swimming pool, forcing him to retire. It was an uncharacteristic error by the 18-year-old, who won the last race, his maiden victory in Spain, with an error-free run. Vettel topped Q1, followed by the 2 silver arrows, but in Q2, Red Bull Racing's Daniel Ricciardo turned it upside down. high-spec Tag Heuer-badged Renault power unit played a strategic masterstroke, setting a rapid lap on the more durable super soft tyres that he could take into the race, just 3/10 off Hamilton's top time on the much faster ultra softs. The drama continued into Q3 after a fuel pressure problem left Hamilton temporarily stranded in the pit lane. The third time in the last 4 events, the Brit has experienced technical issues in qualifying. Ricciardo, though, was on a roll and set a stunning early time of 1:13.622, his RB12 on the ragged edge throughout. It was to be an untouchable lap. Rosberg finished Q3 just over a tenth off. Hamilton recovered to P3 after his late start, losing crucial tenths in the final sector, pushing too hard. Ricciardo was jubilant to secure his maiden pole position, his 5th start on the Formula One front row, his 2nd this year after China. "It's nice to get my first pole," he said after the session, "and here it's the most rewarding place." Rosberg's 12th straight front row. Hamilton 3rd, Vettel's 4th for his best grid slot since China. Hülkenberg 5th, his best result in Monaco. Sainz is 6th. Perez is behind his teammate in 7th, Kvyat is 8th. Alonso is 9th, his best in 2016. Bottas is 10th. Raikkonen 11th post-penalty. Gutierrez is top Haas for the first time. Button is 13th, Massa a disappointing 14th. Grosjean is 15th in his new chassis, Magnussen 16th. Ericsson is 17th, his best since China. Palmer is 18th. Arianto outqualifies Verline for the 3rd time this year. Verstappen starts from the pit lane, as does Nasser. Can Ricciardo stay ahead of the Silver Arrows? That's next on the Inside Line. The Inside Line is now online. Visit theinsideline.com for up-to-the-minute F1 news, opinion, and exclusive videos. Our customized news feed means you can access the best F1 articles from around the world in one convenient location. Log on now for exclusive videos, independent insights, and race reviews. Theinsideline.com, your one-stop website for everything Formula One.
VIP انترفيوز مع أحد نجوم الكرة العالمية وفي الحقيقة أسطورة من أساطير الكرة البلجيكية. عندما نقول جون ماري بفاف نتحدث عن العصر الذهبي لمنتخب الشياطين الحمر أو لي ديابلو روج كما يسمى هذا المنتخب. جون ماري بفاف، إريك جيرتس، أنزو شيفو، نجوم هذه الكرة البلجيكية، وسعداء باستضافة هذا النجم الكبير هنا في دبي. Welcome in Dubai.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy I can coming to Dubai, and I hope in a long time I can come and working here.
We too. We are glad to host you. So let me start by the beginning before coming back to the Belgium national team, and it's quite famous national team nowadays with some good results. Let me come back to your starting in football. It was Beveren, I think.
Yes, we started all the great players. We started all in a small team. Beveren is a city from 10,000 people, and it's great that when you're working for your career, you're a young goalkeeper. You have a dream, and when you have a dream, you work for your success. And then after we play Beveren champion, best footballer, the Belgium, and then it was very important that I go to Bayern Munich. So I work in a small team, in a club. You have no money, and then you go to the big club in Germany, and Bayern Munich is not. And I was very happy. This was for me a big transfer.
Let me try to go step by step. After Beveren, before Bayern Munich, there is a final of the European Championship, 1980. It was, I think, the start of a legend, the start of something becoming later